is said, do you have any tips for a mom in nursing school? And I thought this was a really cute question. I'm not a mom, so I don't have a whole lot of advice to give, but I think the biggest thing that I can say is to be kind to yourself. And yeah, school is important, but so is time with your children. And it's okay to sacrifice time every once in a while. If it's a nice day out and you want to take your kids to the park for 30 minutes, go do it. And also, don't be too hard on yourself. I think a lot of moms feel guilty for going to school, and especially nursing school, where you're doing 12-hour shifts at the hospital and you're coming home and studying and you're in class all day, that a lot of the times you can start to feel really guilty for not spending time with them as much as you could be if you weren't in nursing school. But I think it's really important to just remember that you're doing this for them, you're doing this for your children. This is going to better their future and your future, and they're going to be so proud of you when they're older and they can understand the sacrifices that you made for them. So just keep that in mind, keep working hard, and don't be too hard on yourself. How not to get burnt out. And I don't know if you mean in like the nursing work field or nursing school. I can't really answer this from the nursing work field because I'm not a nurse yet. From nursing school, I think this just goes back to finding balance and having a routine and finding things that kind of distract you from nursing school, whether that's putting on a Netflix show for an hour, or going to the gym for 30 minutes or an hour, or going to swim in your pool, or hanging out with your friends, or talking to your mom on the phone, watching a YouTube video. Whatever that looks like for you, I think it's really important to set aside time for self-care, because self-care and your mental health is so important. So is grades, but so is taking care of yourself, and it's important to continue to find time for that stuff even with school going on. The easiest way to remember information for pharm, we can't use med cards. So with med cards, if you don't know what those are, I talk about them a lot in my How I Studied for Pharm video. I'll link it up here if you want to watch it. My school let us use med cards, but I think memorization is the biggest thing with pharm, and also trying to apply it to your patients. So when you're in the clinical setting, you're in the hospital, you get exposure to patients, you're going to see the medications that they're on, and you can start to like mentally process, okay, what diseases are these related to? Why are they taking these meds? What kind of meds are these? Look at the name, try and recall what it's for, things like that, just to kind of get it in your head of how to learn medications. But it is a lot of memorization. How do you organize studying for finals? I was planning to do a whole separate video on this. If you guys want to see that, comment down below and let me know, because it's like a totally different, way too long for me to answer the question. And how did you know the nursing program was the right fit for you? So I don't know if you mean my nursing program specifically or just nursing in general. With my program specifically, it's really small, and I really liked that. I really liked the close-knit group that my school had. I loved the people that I met when I toured the school. It just felt like a really homey environment to me, and I really liked that. My school is very non-traditional. We don't have sports, we don't have like extracurricular activities, we don't have clubs, we really don't have a lot of that like quote-unquote college life stuff, and I like that. I'm not a partier, I'm never interested in that, I'm never interested in living in the dorms, that's just not me at all, and so I was fine going to a school that didn't offer that stuff, and so that's why I liked my program. And how I knew nursing was the right fit for me is a really long story, but basically throughout high school I was stuck between elementary education and nursing, and I was going the nursing route until the last minute. I made a stupid decision based around a boy at the time. I decided to go into elementary education. Prereqs were, basic general ed courses. They were fine. Once I got into the teaching courses, I absolutely hated it. I realized I had made a mistake, and I switched to nursing. Immediately within my prerequisite courses, I knew that nursing was for me. It's just something I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I truly love helping people, and that's the best way that I know how. What did you do to be a competitive applicant when applying to the nursing program? So again, I talked about the application for my school. Wasn't as competitive as other schools because my school was very small at the time. Not a lot of people knew about it. So yeah, you had to have a minimum GPA. There's still certain requirements you had to meet, but I don't think it was nearly as competitive as other programs, just because the volume of people applying to the school was a lot lower than other programs. They didn't have a need to be as competitive. So I really didn't do anything extra. If you're looking for things, I would watch the video where I interviewed my mom. My mom's a neonatal nurse practitioner. I'll link it up here. She talked a lot about things that you can do to add to your application. So if you want to go check that out, I would go there. How do you manage your time between your social life and nursing school? Again, I think this is something I already covered with the calendar and everything, but I do think it's important to find a balance. Make sure you do find time for your friends. Just realize that there are sacrifices that have to be made. Nursing school is not easy. It does not come with no sacrifices. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. You're gonna miss out on events with your friends. It's just bound to happen. But if you can be flexible, your friends can be flexible, you can all kind of be creative with your schedules, you can definitely find time. You just gotta work around sometimes, and sometimes you can't go to everything, and that's just part of the gig. Said, how do you take notes in nursing school? This is another video I can make a whole video on alone. It's a whole process. If you guys want to see that, comment down below and I'll definitely do it. It's way too long for me to answer right now. Meal planning / eating healthy while in nursing school tips. So eating healthy is hard, especially in nursing school. I feel like my school is always stocked with top ramen and cookies and desserts and all sorts of stuff, which tastes good, but it can be very tempting. And so I think sometimes it's okay if you have a craving to have it. Everything is great in moderation. For me specifically, I have a lot of digestive issues, if I'm being honest, and so when I eat poorly, I notice it in the way I feel physically, and so that's a big driver in what I choose to eat, because if I eat like crap, I feel like crap, and I just don't like feeling that way. It makes me sick, I don't feel good, and so that's like the biggest thing for me that I do. Meal planning, girl, you're talking to the wrong person. I don't do that. I'm so bad at it. Did you have to take the TEAS test? If so, how did you prepare for it? I did take the TEAS test. That was the entrance exam my school had us take. I didn't prepare for it a lot. I bought a test taking book. If I can find it, I bought it at Barnes & Noble. If I can find it, I will link it down below. I went through it a couple times. The TEAS is just general information, so similar to like state testing they're required to take in like elementary, middle, and high school, the SAT or the ACT. It's just like those, that kind of content. There's no nursing content, so I didn't prepare for it a whole lot just because I felt like it was general knowledge stuff, and I definitely could have done better, but I did well enough to pass, like get the score that I needed to for my school, so I just kind of left it as that. But I do recommend that study book, and I'll try and link it down below. How did you obtain health insurance through nursing school? So if you don't know what she's talking about, most nursing schools, as far as I know, mine does, require you to have health insurance while in the program because you need to be insured while you're working with patients in the hospital. I have health insurance through my parents, and when Connor and I are married, I will have health insurance through him, but that's the only way that I have health insurance. I'm not really sure how to answer that other than that, and I know that's not super helpful, but yeah, mine just is through my normal health insurance with my parents. What advice will you give a student who is about to start nursing school? I think I answered this already, but just be open-minded, be open to everything, every opportunity, every experience that's coming your way, and be ready to advocate for yourself. You see procedures, if you see things happening that you want to be a part of, even if it's just watching, be bold enough to stand up and say, hey, I want to go to that, can I go to that? Ask the question. The worst thing they can say is no, but at least you asked, and a lot of the times you'll get to go see things that you wouldn't normally see if you were just sitting around waiting for the experiences to come to you. So go out and seek experiences for yourself. Be prepared to sacrifice some of your time, but also recognize that it's going to be so worth it in the end, and just keep that in mind. As hard as it gets, it's going to be worth it, I promise. Okay, and the last question, if you're a Christian, how do you feel that impacts your goals as far as nursing school goes? So I am a Christian, and I really liked this question. I had to think about it for a minute. I think that it impacts my goals because, like I said, I was stuck between nursing and elementary ed. When I went elementary ed and then changed to nursing, in changing to nursing, I immediately knew that this is where I was meant to be, and this was my calling. And going into nursing school, I thought I would end up with women's health, zero interest in peds or baby. And then I got into OB, and I really liked the mom side, but I fell in love with the baby. I can't get enough of newborn nursery. I absolutely love it. That was 2 semesters ago. That was in the fall. And since then, I have not stopped thinking about newborn nursery. I love it. Every clinical experience I go to, I wish I was back there. That's all that I want. And so I think that that kind of intuition and gut feeling and sense that we all have inside of us is God pushing us to do His will. Knowing that I'm a Christian and I want to do what God wants for me, my goal is to just further my career and hopefully eventually become a nurse practitioner and kind of see where that takes me. And I think that another thing that I really keep in mind when it comes to nursing, I really try to act in a way that I know Jesus would want me to, especially when I'm in the hospital. In the hospital, you come encounter with all sorts of people from all different walks of life in many different situations. Some of the illnesses they have, they've put on themselves, some of them haven't. Sometimes you work with women who have taken drugs and alcohol while they were pregnant, and now you're working with their child who is addicted to drugs. There are all sorts of situations out there, and you have to remain non-judgmental. You have to act as if Christ would, and Christ loves all of us no matter what decisions we make, what mistakes we make. We all make mistakes, and He loves us anyway and cares for us anyway. And I think that's the way that I try to act in the hospital is I'm going to come in contact with people that I may not agree with the decisions that they've made, but that's not my place. I don't get to judge them. That does not change the way that I care for them, the way that I help them, any of that. So I just try and keep that in mind. But I really liked that question, and I appreciate people bringing up fake questions. I've never had any before, so that was a good one. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. It's getting really cloudy. I think it's snowing, which is incredibly unfortunate because it was 70 degrees yesterday. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video now and get to editing it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I really like doing this Q&A. I've never done a Q&A before. So if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And if I didn't answer a question or you have more questions, feel free to leave them below. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.
I'm gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me.